Hello everyone. Let us see the print paste ingredients part 2. Here video we have seen the ingredients like diester pigment or diester formers, wetting agents, solvent, solution aids, dispersing agent and thickeners. We have seen the classification of thickeners. Now let us see essential requirements of thickeners. Very first essential requirement of thickener is stability to keeping should be good. So in case of printing house, we need to keep the print paste for longer time dependent on the program is taken into execution. So right from beginning when the color matching is going on, since then till the program comes to execution, till that time we need to keep the print paste as it is. So there should not be any changes in the physical and chemical properties of the print paste because of this keeping. So the duration for which it has been kept as it should be stable. There should not be any fall order, any foam generation because of bacterial attack should be there. So the stability of thickener should be good so that print paste also will be stable for longer time. That is nothing but the keeping property of thickener. Next essential requirement of thickener is it should have certain physical and chemical properties like viscosity, flow property, ability to weight the surface. So viscosity we know that it is nothing but resistance to flow. So it should provide appropriate viscosity to the print paste. It should have proper flow property so that its transfer from the screen or the medium to the fabric should be proper, and it should weight the surface properly so that the dye particles will get properly adhered to the textile substrate. So it should cause proper wetting of the surface also. So these physical and chemical properties do carry importance in case of thickener. If these properties are hampered, we cannot have uniformity in the application of print paste. Next essential requirement of thickener is it must be compatible with the other ingredients of printing paste. Now in case of printing paste, all the time we do add acid, alkali, oxidizing or reducing agent, some electrolytes or some solvents. So if these chemicals are affecting on the property of thickener, then we will not be getting proper stability of the print paste. So it is required that the thickener should be compatible with all these ingredients. There are chances by the addition of electrolytes the viscosity property of thickener may get affected. If acid is affecting on the viscosity of thickener, that also we need to consider. If alkalinity is more, in that case the thickeners, especially natural thickeners, they get converted into glue like structure or viscosity will get increased. So this should not happen. This thickener should be compatible with all these ingredients of the print paste. This is the most essential requirement of thickener. The next essential requirement of thickeners is the thickener film should dry properly on the fabric to prevent spreading of the color by capillary action beyond the boundaries of the design. So, after application of the printing paste, the thickener film should get properly dried on the fabric to prevent spreading of the color by capillary action. So, it has to get dried properly immediately, thereby avoiding spreading of the color by capillary action beyond the boundaries of the design. So here we can see with the help of two images we can understand it. If the color is getting spread means already the design is tiny enough. The motifs are tiny enough. If spreading will occur means the ultimate look of design will get affected. Here in case of big floral design also same is the case. If the color is getting spreaded means we cannot have clarity of the printing. So the thickener film after its application on the fabric should get dried properly on the fabric to prevent spreading of the color by capillary action beyond the boundaries of print area. Next essential requirement of thickener is proper extraction of water from the steam during steaming should be ensured to provide free space for the dye molecule to move towards the fabric and free water to carry it. Now here with the help of image we can understand it. It has to extract proper amount of water during steam so that it will provide free space for the dye molecule to move towards the fabric and free water to carry it. So here we can see this is the fabric, this is the thickener and these are the dye molecules. So it has to provide free space by extracting sufficient amount of water from steam so that the dye transfer will be efficient from thickener film to the fabric. Next requirement of the thickener is it should not have affinity for the dye. Now we know if the thickener itself is having affinity for the dye, 100% dye will not go onto the fabric and we may not get the desired percent color, that is depth, on the fabric. If the dye is reacting with thickener itself, we cannot ensure that desired color yield can be obtained. So the thickener should not have any affinity for the dye at the given conditions. Next essential requirement of thickener is the thickener should have a control over the free water pickup and not carry the dye beyond the boundaries of the impression. In earlier videos also we have seen if the thickener is not having control over the free water pickup or if excess amount of condensed water is absorbed by the thickener, it enables the spreading of dye beyond the boundaries of the area, print area, and thus we can have a colored line effect beyond the boundaries of the print area. So it should have a control over the free water pickup and it should not carry the dye beyond the boundaries of the impression by absorption of more amount of condensed water. Another requirement of thickener is once the dye is transferred from the thickener film during steaming, the removal of the thickener film should be easy during washing. So once the dye transfer is occurred, the dye is transferred from thickener film to the fabric and fixation dye fiber reactions are complete. In that case, we call it as an exhausted thickener film. Now the role of thickener is over. So once the role of thickener is over, the exhausted thickener film should get easily removed during washing. If the thickener film itself is having affinity for the textile substrate and if the removal is taking much time, in that case there are chances that much amount of water is required for washing, as well the fabric also may have harsh feel. So it is recommended that it should get easily removed once the roll is over, once the job of thickener is over. And not last but not the least, the thickener should be cheap and available in abundance. Based on the thickener itself, print economy will be decided. So if the cost of thickener is more, definitely our printing cost also will go up. If the number of colors are more, in that case more and more amount of thickener may be required. So if the coverage also is more, in that case also more amount of thickener will be required. If the thickener is costly, definitely it will affect on the print economy and it should be available in abundance. So sufficient amount of thickener should be available in market for the industrial purpose so that we can have constant economy of the print. If the demand and supply ratio is not met, in that case there are chances that the print economy also may get affected accordingly. So this is the essential requirement that the thickener should be cheap and it should be available in abundance. Friends, we have seen the essential requirement of thickener. Now let us see the advantages and limitations of each and every type of thickener. In case of natural thickeners, the advantages are it is cheaper, those are easily available. Second advantage is good viscosity of the paste at comparatively less concentration of thickener. Generally, in case of natural thickeners, 6 to 7% concentration gives us good print viscosity. So, at comparatively less concentration, we can get good viscosity of the paste, the desired viscosity of the paste. Next advantage is most of the natural thickeners are suitable for printing using direct dyes. In case of direct dyes, we can have there is more choice of selection of the thickener. But the limitations of natural thickeners are these are having poor keeping property. We know that keeping property is nothing but stability to keep for longer time. So if we keep the thickener paste for longer time, there are chances that in case of natural thickeners, a fall odor starts coming out. Then foam generation also occurs because of bacterial attack. Day by day, we find that the viscosity is decreasing and at last the paste becomes watery. So it is no longer of any use. So this poor keeping property is the biggest limitation of natural thickeners because these are the food materials. Those get easily affected by the bacteria. Next limitation is these are having more solid content, hence harsh feel of the fabric after printing. The thickener film will be harsh enough, it will provide harsh feel to the fabric, and there are chances because of solid content, there are chances that the thickener film after drying may get broken. Some micro cracks get generated in the film, and from that area, the film may get removed, and we may not get desired print effect, levelness of the print effect. Next limitation is since these thickeners also are having hydroxyl group in their structure, these are not suitable for reactive dyes. Most of the natural thickeners, these are having hydroxyl group in their structure, and we know that in case of reactive dyes, they react with the hydroxyl group of cellulose, cell OH. If these are reacting with the thickener also, we may not get the desired color yield. So the thickener only suitable for reactive dyes is sodium alginate. Sodium alginate thickener is only suitable for reactive dyes and that is only recommended in case of reactive prints. So sodium alginate, we know that it is obtained from algae which is developed on sea surface water. Next limitation is these are not suitable for pigment printing. Now in case of pigments, we know that binder is there that gets polymerized. That polymeric film of binder gets cross-linked with the textile substrate. Since natural thickeners are having high solid content, this solid matter may affect on the cross-linking extent of binder film with the textile substrate. So there should not be any barrier like this solid matter. In case of pigments, it is recommended that no solid matter should be there so that we can have efficient cross-linking of the binder film, polymeric film with the textile substrate within which the pigment particles get hold. So between the fabric surface and the polymeric film of the binder. Within these two, the pigment particles get sandwiched. So this is not at all suitable for pigment printing. Let us see the modified natural thickness advantages and limitations. In case of modified natural thickness, as earlier discussed, these are modified by either oxidation, etherification, or esterification, acrylation, all such processes. So basically, these groups are incorporated into natural thickeners to improve the keeping properties of natural thickeners. So these thickeners also are suitable for most of the dyes except reactive dye. These thickeners provide good viscosity to the print paste, but the limitation is these are costlier due to additional modification process. Major limitation of natural and modified natural thickeners is Since most of the natural thickeners are consumed as food material, we know that rice we consume as a food, wheat also we consume as a food, maize also we consume as a food. Most of the plant exudates, those are being used for medicinal uses, even those are used in case of soups and all such food matters. So as per government norms, few percentage of entire production is available for its use meant for industrial purpose. Only a few percentage, say 100% whatever has been produced this year, out of that only 20 to 30% may be available for industrial purpose. So priority is given for the food purpose, and later on remaining, if the excess production is there, that will go for industrial purpose use. So there is again limitation in this case. This sometimes dispels the demand and supply ratio due to natural disasters such as lack of rain or flood. So we know in these cases, if more rain is there, flood is there, or if no rain is there, in that case, definitely production gets affected. So it disturbs the demand and supply ratio meant for even food purpose as well industrial purpose. This is how the economy also gets affected. So sometimes we can get cheaper prints, sometimes we may have to pay more for that prints. Yes, there is uncertainty in its production and availability, which may cause change in the print economy time to time. So, this we need to take in consideration. Now, let us see synthetic thickness advantages. This provide good viscosity to the paste at low concentration. E- Again, less solid content, hence no harsh feel of the fabric. These are suitable for pigment printing as well in case of dispersed dyes too. And mainly, synthetic thickeners can be manufactured on the basis of demand. So this is the biggest advantage of synthetic thickeners. So we can here meet the demand and supply ratio. As per the demand, we can manufacture synthetic thickeners. But the limitation with synthetic thickeners is viscosity of the paste may get affected by the presence of electrolytes. There are chances that by the addition of some electrolytes like diammonium phosphate or even sodium chloride, the viscosity may get affected. And second limitation is limited or poor compatibility with other ingredients. So mainly with electrolytes, the viscosity is not stable, and there are chances that other ingredients like reducing agent, oxidizing agent, acids, alkali, these also may affect on the properties of synthetic thickeners. So we have limited or poor compatibility of the synthetic thickeners with other ingredients. Let us see the advantages and limitations of emulsion thickeners. In case of emulsion thickeners, the advantages, these are suitable for pigment printing since no or very less solid content is there. As earlier discussed, no solid matter is there in case of emulsion thickener. Those are manufactured by the use of oil and water. So these will get evaporated during polymerizing temperature itself. Since the temperature is 135 to 150 degrees Celsius, this get evaporated. So no solid matter is left at printed portion, which gives proper chance to the binder film for its cross-linking with textile substrate. Second advantage is mixture of oil and water, hence no harsh feel to the fabric. As this get evaporated, no harsh feel is imparted to the fabric. Third advantage is no need of washing the fabrics, as during polymerization oil and water get evaporated and prints get fixed by cross-linking of binder with substrate. So here no thickener film is left at the printed portion because of evaporation of these two matters which are used for manufacturing the thickener. But there are some limitations also. So first limitation is use of hydrocarbon based petroleum products for making emulsion thickeners. Hence cost of thickener is high. We know that generally petroleum products like kerosene, white spirit, these are used for manufacturing the emulsion thickeners. Sometimes some oils also can be used. So these are already costly. So the thickener also is costlier. Next limitation is chances of fire hazards in the printing house. Once we are printing it, we dry the prints and then after we take it for polymerizing on stanter machine. The temperature is high over there, 135 to 150 degrees Celsius. If any traces are left over there or the fumes, evaporated fumes, those may catch fire if anything goes wrong. So there are chances of fire hazards. Third limitation is vapors of the thickener during printing and during polymerization get inhaled by the workers, which are harmful for their respiratory system. We know that wherever the fumes of oil or petroleum products are there, so it becomes uncomfortable to work in such atmosphere. So here these vapors are really harmful for the workers in that department. Thank you. In the next video, we will see the next ingredients like defoaming agents and rest all.